Well, I think some of the things I think that people are quite interested in is understanding what you think. And certainly, I realise today you don't come in with a crystal ball, but certainly with your experience and what you've seen, especially in the US market and other parts around the world. But if you were standing in the ICT business in Tasmania today, what would you be focusing on, in your opinion? What do you think you'd be focusing on?
Well, you have what we call in the U.S. pole position. So the government has made you the very first place to roll out the NBN, both the photonic piece, which is what I concentrated on this morning, but also to support the wireless piece. Now, there are plenty of folks around the world who have built fiber to the home and wireless systems, but the ubiquity of what you're doing is almost unprecedented. The 90% of built infrastructure that you're going to be connecting. And so you're going to have a very tight loop between customers getting this unprecedented, I mean, it's basically 2 orders of magnitude increase in bandwidth. Those are, almost everything else is always incremental. So these step functions are very rare, just very rare. And so you're sitting on an opportunity to see how people are going to invent the future that by 2013, 130 million homes around the world will have fiber to the home. There's 8 million homes in Australia altogether. So the expanded, that's just by 2013. It's growing 30% a year, number of homes installed. So the global market, most of which, by the way, is in Asia, particularly China, emerging so rapidly, that is so much bigger a market than Australia that if you can find applications, infrastructure components, software that is critical in this sort of environment, you have a huge market to sell into. You can perfect the market locally in Tasmania. You've got the whole rest of the country as your midterm market, and then you've got this much larger global market. And so with that as a context, I'd be looking for what can I do as a company that is going to produce something that this emerging market is going to need, that I can perfect in terms of the customer acceptance, the pricing, the marketing, the way you talk about it on a prone turf that I'm engaged in right here in Tasmania. So that's the first thing. I think the other thing that the Premier made a very good point about is much sooner than most people think, we're going to have to move to non-carbon fuels much, much faster than people think. And again, Tasmania has been in the renewable energy business for a good chunk of a century with hydropower, but you also have that linked into the new high voltage DC lines like the submarine cable we've got to the mainland. Do you call us?
Yeah, we do.
North, yeah, that's it, the North Island, like New Zealand. And so this smart electric grid is going to be the next big thing after the NBN, maybe even more important than the NBN. And it's the penetration of internet technology into the pre-existing electrical grid, which has been around 100 years, that is going to define what we mean by smart grid. And this is going to lead to a vast set of new opportunities for companies to innovate into. Because essentially, think of it this way, anything that sucks down an electron is going to have an IPv6 address. That means every light, every fire extinguisher that's sitting next to the battery, every part of your cooling system, the projectors, everything is going to have an IPv6 address. And it's going to be monitorable and actionable remotely. And you're going to be able to make software run it. So, if you take, I was going to look at the number to get a chance, but if you take the United States, 40% of the greenhouse gas emissions in the United States is from our built infrastructure. It is the buildings that we have to electrify, light, heat, and cool. 40%. A great deal of that energy is wasted right now. And that's wasted because we don't know what we're doing. We haven't got the software to be efficiently using energy only when we need energy, instead of just wasting it because we don't have that data. So imagine data is just everywhere in the world, and it's accessible. That's a totally different world that we live in now. We live in a stupid, dumb world, a world that doesn't have knowledge of its own state. And so it's almost like we're moving into a self-aware world. So self-awareness is the software you're adding on to the ability to now sense that data around. Well, Tasmania is, again, one of the first places because of the ubiquity of the rollout of the NBN and because of your early work in the optical test bed that was one of the main reasons that you got chosen to be appointed as your NBN. And when you talk to the big telcos, the rest of the world, what they say is there's a learning curve about how to roll out something like the NBN. You've got 8 years. Get better by each year, a lot cheaper per house. And that's because of the learning curve. And it should have a very much richer set of applications people can buy because it's an open platform. So think of the iPhone. 50,000 applications in 1 to 2 years for nothing. So if the NBN really sticks with this open access platform, you will have probably more ability to innovate applications into a fiber to the premise than anywhere in the world.